Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope all of you are doing well. So, I'm doing things a little differently. I will actually be behind the camera instead of being in front of the camera. Um, just dealing with my injured shoulder and dealing with, allergies starting to play a huge part. So figured, I'll do something behind the video or, do a video where I'm behind the camera. And probably the next few videos is going to be like that until I start feeling a little bit better. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys be aware of that. But I'm going to be reviewing Death Wish: The Face of Death. This is the fifth and final installment of the Death Wish films, of course, starring Charles Bronson as Paul Kersey. And in this film, we kind of go into a different direction. Now, I do believe at the time Charles Bronson did not want to do this movie. I think he was pretty much done with the franchise. And I also believe he was ill as well. Do not quote me on that. But this one, he plans to marry this woman, and that he's met, and she has a daughter who you know uh, really likes Paul. He they get along very well, and he's kind of having a life again. He found somebody. She's got a daughter, so now he has a daughter. Even though it's his stepdaughter, he could be part of her life and get back what he once lost. But of course, that doesn't last very long, as the fiance, ex-husband, comes along and kidnaps the daughter and attacks, tries to attack him as well as his fiance. And yeah, things start to go, in different directions. Now, what's interesting about this movie is that Paul kind of goes into a different direction when it comes to taking out these individuals. You have more of a story based. You don't have like this entire, group of gangs and things like that. No, you have more of a crime boss and his goons is the best way to put it. So they kind of go in that direction, compared to the other, films that they've done in the past, previous, in the series. So I thought that was really cool that they decided to do that. And not only that, but I feel like the villains of these films have their own just really unique and funny personalities, and of course there are a couple familiar faces as well. But I do like how creative he gets, ranging from a soccer ball to poison in a cannoli, rat poisoning. Yeah, the way he takes out these bad guys is just very creative, and kind of in a way takes away from what he has done in the previous film. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, and I like the atmosphere. You still have that. I mean, this is 90s now. I think we're at what, 94, I believe. Um, it should say on the back. It probably doesn't. Um, yeah, it doesn't say, but I think this came out around like 94 or so. I could be wrong on that, but I do believe it's early 90s. And yeah, you can. I don't know who exactly worked on the film, but they definitely brought back that grittiness compared to the last two films, which I do like. And just the whole atmosphere of the city, especially during the 90s, things were just so interesting back then. And what I do like is this movie. You have great scenery. You have places that, as he's taken out the villains, range from, one's house to a mannequin factory to a restaurant. So, they do, again, like I stated, they do get creative, and you're not set in one location. You got a whole wide variety of things. Uh, part three was kind of the film that where they really just had one location, while the others, kind of were a little over the place, but in a good way. So can't complain there. If you guys can hear, there's a train going by, so I do apologize. I don't know if the microphone will pick it up, but all in all, I think for a final film in the Death Wish series, I think it's a good one. I think it's a nice send off. It's not all over the place, it's simple and effective, and it keeps to the same formula but tries to go into a different direction. And in my personal opinion, I think it works. And Charles Bronson's fantastic as always. His chemistry with everybody, I think, really works, and just how his character comes off being pretty much, you know, having a high level of confidence, and I like it. I think it's great. The villain of the film, I think, was decent for the most part. There's a few nice little twists. I wouldn't say like a few. There's one twist um, that you'll see in the film, and I thought that worked really well. And all in all, it's just a really fun B action film. And yeah, I wish I could say more about it, but there's not a whole lot you can say. But I do recommend that you guys check out the film if you have not seen it. The entire Death Wish franchise, I feel, are just a really fun B action film. Charles Bronson's great, and the Death Wish films are those type of films where you can just, you know, you can literally go get yourself some Chinese food, a nice cold one, and just relax after a nice long day, and just have a really good time. So, now, I will state that at least the last three in the franchise don't really have a story that ties into one another. So, in all honesty, you guys can literally just watch those without having to watch one and two. To me, it feels like one and two are kind of their own movie, and the rest are their own films. They don't continue on. Death Wish 1 and 2, you are continuing that story after so many years, but compared to 3, 4, and of course 5, they're pretty much their own film. So it's not like you have to watch 1 through 5 to follow what's going on. So I do like that. I think that works in some way. At least back then. Today, not so much. But thank you guys for tuning in to my review and my thoughts on the film. And if you've seen it, let me know what your thoughts are. Would love to hear your opinion on it. And don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you guys would like to check out my eBay store, I will put the link down in the description below. But other than that, you guys take care. I'm Film Talk with Mikey, and until next time, we'll talk films. Take care.